Hello everyone, we're welcoming Mr. Panagiotis Roussos, the F&B director of Katikies group. We're very glad to have you today here with us, Mr. Panagiotis. And we would like to ask you a few questions since you are a professional and experienced with the industry.
First of all, the pleasure is all mine participating in such interviews or that has to do with tourism. And of course, Alpine Center, for Alpine Center, it's always a pleasure. So I would be more than glad to answer your question.
So our first question, Mr. Panagiotis, is what do you think the future of the hospitality and tourism industry will be in the near future, post the COVID-19 crisis and the long-term future?
Well, we are living unique, let's say, moments for the whole world, not only for tourism industry, but I believe for all the industries that are operating, let's say. Definitely it's unique because the last pandemic situation happened like 100 years ago. So we never had it before. Of course, many people died, which is extremely sad. But to answer your question regarding the future of hospitality industry, I don't think that the impact will be a huge one, especially for Greece and the Greek destinations, because fortunately the Greek government handled it, in my view, of course, extremely well. So we are like, as far as I'm concerned and know, in my knowledge, we are one of the most safest tourism destinations for the time being. So I'm really hoping that the government will give the clearance to operate all the hotels and restaurants and whatever has to do with the tourism industry in Greece soon enough. And definitely will not be a huge of impact. For sure, the financial part of the crisis is a little bit annoying, let's say, but if you have to change between finance, statistics and everything and human lives, of course you choose the human lives and well-being. So let's all hope and pray that the vaccine will come out soon, and that the doctors and all the scientists that are participating in the researches will find the cure for this virus. You know, I don't think that something you cannot see, cannot feel, and cannot even, it's not tangible, will affect that much of the Greek tourism. What we have in books right now, definitely it's not very promising in June, but definitely July, August, September, and luckily a bit of October. They are like more than prosperous.
You imagine that things will go back to as it were, and even better, from what I can understand.
Well, we hope that we will go much better the soonest. Definitely the long-term future, nothing will be changing that dramatically. In my view, as an F&B director and always been with HAS procedures, cleaning, sanitation and hygiene, let's say, will give us the initiation and the motivation to put in place more, much better, let's say, procedures and whatever will go. So it will be a safer situation for everybody participating.
What advice can you give to current students of hospitality and tourism management and those interested in joining this industry, which was a thriving industry in the last decade and came to almost a standstill in the last 3 months?
Well, my advice will be the same as it was like to me, like how many, let's say 16 years ago or so. In my views, nothing has changed for the last 3 months. I mean, okay, we are through a pandemic situation and crisis, but we've been through financial crisis in the not too distant past. Like it was like 2010 when we had the crisis of this financial crisis in Greece and previously in the whole globe, in the States actually, and then in Europe. But definitely my advice is that the newcomers in the industry, they need to put their feet on the ground to gain knowledge and experience and start from the very like from the base, from the scratch. They have to have solid feet to start building up. Hospitality industry is an industry that is actually still thriving. Okay, 3 months in like years of hospitality and ages and decades is nothing. I mean, it's like 3 months in I don't know how many years, let's say 50 years or so. So it's a small
Period.
yeah, it's a tiny period. So in my view, okay, 3 months is nothing compared to the previous situation, and the situation is coming. As I said before, if you put in place the proper procedures and standards, everything will run smoothly because you will know what to do, you know, the manual, let's say. Now, my advice is there is nothing to be afraid. If you put your heart into your profession, whatever it is, if you are a doctor, if you are a plumber, if you are an electrician, if you are a rocket scientist, I don't know, or a hotel manager or director or whatever has to do, if you put your heart there, you have nothing to afraid. So I believe from my view that I started like working in cruise ships in the very low ranks and then starting building up. So yeah, I do believe that Alpine Center gives you the soft skills and the knowledge, preparing you to go outside in the industry as a professional with the best of knowledge that you can ever gain, and then you expand it and you proceed and you learn it. It's an ongoing learning experience and situation, hospitality industry. And in my view, I don't believe that I could be something different in my life other than being like a hotelier.